Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Millennium TV News. This is Fahmid Islam with you. Before moving on, let's look at today's top stories. Dust Lady of 9/11 Marcy Borders dies of cancer at 42. Ferguson unrest, judge withdraws pre-2015 arrest warrants. UK immigration bill, illegal workers may face 6 months jail. Turkish Air Force to join anti-IS campaign. UN threatens action on South Sudan. Those were the headlines, now the details. Marcy Borders became known as the Dust Lady after a photo showed her covered in dust as she escaped the World Trade Center during the attacks. Ms. Borders, a mother of 2, died on Monday. She blamed her cancer on inhaling dust during the attack and suffered from alcoholism and anxiety in later years. On 11 September 2001, Ms. Borders was just 1 month into a new job at Bank of America on the 81st floor of the North Tower when the plane hit. The building started quaking and swaying. I lost all control and I went into a frenzy. I fought my way out of that place, she told the Daily Mail in 2011. Ms. Borders, who was from New Jersey, was not aware she had been photographed until her mother saw the image the following day and contacted Mr. Honda. In the years after the attacks, as her picture became one of the most iconic images of the day, Ms. Borders suffered from severe depression and drug addiction and lost custody of her 2 children. I didn't do a day's work in nearly 10 years, and by 2011 I was a complete mess, she told the New York Post in the same year. Every time I saw an aircraft, I panicked. Thousands of people who were at ground zero that day have been since diagnosed with cancer, but medical officials have not confirmed any link to the attacks. In 2011, Barack Obama instituted a $2.78 billion fund to compensate first responders for health problems related to the attacks. Ms. Borders' daughter Noel told the New York Post on Wednesday her mother fought an amazing battle. Not only is she the Dust Lady, but she is my hero and she'll forever live through me, she said. Judge Donald McCullin cancelled arrest warrants issued before this year, mainly to African Americans. Defendants of minor offenses will also be offered alternatives to prison. It follows the U.S. Justice Department report that found the police in the city unfairly targeted black people. The report, released in March this year, said court officials and the local police were exploiting people to raise revenue. It highlighted that arrest warrants were being issued if fines for minor offenses, such as parking and driving violations, were not paid, instead of arrests on the basis of public safety. Part of the sweeping changes to court practices announced by Municipal Judge McCullin on Monday include offering defendants options to dispose of their cases, such as payment plans and community services. People who work illegally in England and Wales will face up to 6 months in prison under proposals to be included in the forthcoming immigration bill. The bill, to be introduced in the autumn, will also contain measures against takeaway restaurants and off-licenses which employ illegal migrants. Penalties will also include an unlimited fine and wages being seized. Immigration Minister James Brockenshire said the government would continue to crack down on abuse of the system. The government has made a series of immigration announcements over the summer, which this is the latest. Takeaways and off-licenses could lose their licenses if they were found to be employing illegal workers. The US and Turkey have reached an agreement which will see Turkish jets join the air campaign against Islamic State militants. American officials hailed the agreement as a significant step forward in the fight against IS. Turkey is already allowing US planes to operate from 2 Turkish air bases. Turkey has already conducted a handful of strikes against IS, but it will now be fully integrated into the strategy of the wider anti-IS coalition. Pentagon spokesman Peter Cook said it would probably take a few days to put the agreement into practice. He added that cooperation with the Turks and the expansion of that cooperation remains a work in progress, and that talks were continuing with Turkey with regard to border issues. Last month, Turkey launched its first strikes on IS militants since the group began its advance through Iraq and Syria in 2013. The UN has said it is ready to act immediately unless South Sudan's President Salva Kiir signs a peace deal with rebels. Mr. Kiir is scheduled to sign a deal to end months of brutal civil war later on Wednesday, although his spokesman said he still had reservations. Rebel leader Riek Machar signed it last week, but Mr. Kiir refused. Fighting between forces loyal to the two men has displaced over 2.2 million people. In a Security Council briefing, the UN's humanitarian chief Stephen O'Brien warned conditions were deteriorating, saying he heard multiple accounts of atrocities, including people being burned in their homes. The scope and level of cruelty that has characterized the attacks against civilians suggested a depth of antipathy that goes beyond political differences, he said. We'll take a short break here. Do stay in a moment with the headlines here. India mass rally over caste quotas. Gates Foundation to take Bangladesh nutrition project lessons abroad. China to invest $350 million in Bangladesh. Grameen Bank in Fortune magazine's global list. Neymar will stay at Barca, Barcelona president says. Welcome back to Millennium TV News. More than 300,000 members of India's Patel community have staged a rally in Gujarat demanding better access to jobs and education. The rally in Ahmedabad city was addressed by Hardik Patel, a 21-year-old controversial community leader. Patels make up 20% of the population of Gujarat, the home state of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The caste is economically powerful, but the protesters say quotas for lower castes put them at a disadvantage. Patels control India's thriving diamond cutting and polishing industry and are among the most prosperous businessmen and farmers in Gujarat. But they complain that they are denied college places because of affirmative action to ensure those below them in India's complex social structure have access. And they say they have been affected by a slowdown in small and medium industries, where many Patels are employed in Gujarat, which has led to a drying up of employment opportunities. Significant success of a nutrition project in Bangladesh has inspired the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation to take its lessons around the world. Ellen Puos, Senior Program Officer on Nutrition at the Gates Foundation's Global Development Program, said the project on improving infant and young children feeding practices funded in 3 countries was most successful in Bangladesh. India is learning from it. We are also thinking to apply this lesson to a new country, Nigeria. She said just before the release of the Bangladesh Project Evaluation Report on Wednesday, the Gates Foundation implemented the project with the Alive and Thrive initiative in malnutrition-burdened 3 countries, Bangladesh, Ethiopia and Vietnam, for 6 years between 2008 and 2014. We'd like to see the Bangladesh interventions taken up globally. Bangladesh Project's model was unique in reaching the target people both through interpersonal counseling by trained frontline workers and through mass media. Now the business news. The visiting Chinese Commerce Minister Gao Huchen, while meeting the Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina on Tuesday, informed that China will invest around $350 million in various sectors of Bangladesh. The investment will aim for product diversification, value addition, as well as boosting exports for the mutual benefits of China and Bangladesh. The Chinese minister had the meeting with the Bangladesh premier at her official residence, Gana Bhavan. The PM's press secretary, Ihsanul Karim, while briefing the reporters after the meeting, said that Huchen termed Bangladesh a development partner of China and urged Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina to form a committee that would coordinate with the Chinese side regarding the investment. The Chinese minister talked highly of Bangladesh jute products, for which their export from Bangladesh increased by 10% just in the first half of this year. The Chinese minister also informed the PM that a letter of exchange has been signed between Bangladesh and China for building Bangladesh-China Friendship Exhibition Center at Purvachal on the outskirts of capital Dhaka. Grameen Bank has been ranked 12th on Fortune's Change the World list, which is a recognition for creating new economic opportunities for those in poverty and bringing financially struggling people under financial services. Fortune announced its inaugural Change the World list, a ranking of 51 companies that have made an impact on major global social or environmental problems as part of their competitive strategy. For the first time, the magazine's Change the World list ranked companies not by the dollars they make, but the good they did. According to the World Bank, globally, microfinance accounts for at least $60 billion in loans annually and has reached 135 million people. Volatile global markets showed signs of a respite from the recent bloodletting on Tuesday as bargain hunters helped Asian stocks of 3 years lows hit on fears that China's economy was risking a hard landing, with Chinese shares losing another 5%. The MSCI's broadest index of Asia-Pacific shares outside Japan jumped 1.7% after an initial dip to 3 years lows, while Japan's Nikkei N225 index also erased most of its early losses after an initial drop of 4.3%. There appears to be buyback as many markets look oversold after panicky selling in the last few days. Even the shares that had little business ties with China were sold. U.S. stock futures ESC1 also gained 2.5% in Asia, pairing a part of its 5% fall the previous day. But mainland Chinese shares bucked the trend, with Shanghai Composite Index SSEC falling another 5% even after a 15% fall in the last 3 days. including 8.5% drop on Monday. Global investors are cannibalizing each other, calling it a market disaster is not an overstatement. And I don't see any signs of meaningful government intervention, underlining concerns about China. Japanese Finance Minister Taro Aso said on Tuesday he hoped China would take actions to stabilize its economy and that Tokyo had no plan for now to unveil its own new economic stimulus package. Now the sports news. Teams qualified for Champions League will find out their Champions League group stage rivals when the draw is made on Thursday. Chelsea are in pot 1 alongside fellow seeds Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Benfica, Juventus, Paris Saint-Germain, Zenit St. Petersburg and PSV Eindhoven. Arsenal, City and United are in pot 2 along with Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, Porto and Valencia. The 32 teams in the draw will be put into 8 groups of 4. In a change to previous seasons, pot 1 will be made up of holders Barcelona and league winners of the top 7 European leagues: Spain, England, Germany, Italy, Portugal, France and Russia, rather than being based on club coefficients. As Spanish side Barcelona won last season's competition, Dutch champions PSV go into the top pot as Netherlands are the 8th ranked association. A team from each of the 4 pots will be drawn into the 8 groups, with no more than 1 team from any one country in each group. Barcelona have rejected speculation linking Neymar with a world record transfer to Manchester United and will offer to extend his contract. United have the wage structure and transfer funds available to sign Neymar, but have been told the 23-year-old is unavailable after making initial inquiries last week. Barcelona President Josep Maria Bartomeu quashed talk of a move for the Brazil forward and said the club's desire is to secure him to a new long-term contract. Those are just rumors and what people write, but there is nothing to it, Bartomeu told Catalan radio station Catalunya Radio. Neymar is happy at Barca. We don't want Neymar to leave at all. He's a young player that has an international football projection above the norm. He has helped us a lot in our recent successes. In a few months' time, we will discuss his contract extension as he has 3 years left on his current deal. We want him to stay for many years, 3, 5, 10 or even 15 years more with us. Let's have a look at Millennium TV News Recap. Dust Lady of 9/11 Marcy Borders dies of cancer at 42. Ferguson unrest, judge withdraws pre-2015 arrest warrants. UK immigration bill, illegal workers may face 6 months jail. Turkish Air Force to join anti-IS campaign. UN threatens action on South Sudan. You're up to date with our top stories over here on Millennium TV, and don't forget to log into www.millenniumtv.net. Thank you for staying with us. Allah Hafiz.